Hey folks, it's Shane Drake. If you're here, you know who I am and what I'm trying to do. So essentially, if anybody's coming to this video and you don't know who I am running a campaign to be the next governor of Maine as an independent, somewhere in the middle, because I feel like we need to get away from politics and, we need to start getting into what works and what makes sense and what's right for the vast majority of us. We've been sold out. The political leadership in this country is weak. They don't give us solutions. They don't give us long-term results. It's words. This is why people hate politicians. This is why I don't like politicians, because it's the same thing you get on TV, okay? So anybody who reads from a teleprompter or has to read their thoughts or what they think from a teleprompter doesn't know or understand what they think, okay? And we've gone away from the principled founding fathers who could write page upon page upon page, opining upon these grand ideas and these grand foundations and the importance of them. To nowadays, it's just yep, yep, yep on TV and from our politicians. So, somewhere along the line, this whole system has derailed. Something's gotten bigger, something's gotten too powerful, and the framework that our founding fathers created is no longer able to contain this beast, right? And I'm not saying that we need to abandon the principles or the Constitution, the principles of our founding fathers, the Constitution. It's more so like we need to realign ourselves. The track's already there. The founding fathers already put the track down. It's already on, the rails are already on the boards. It's already been leveled. It's already been made. So the radical idea is that somehow there's a better track somewhere, which will allow us to progress as a society faster than we already were going, right? It's like, well, any benefit that some other system or some other ideas could provide is totally undermined by the utter failure of this transition period that they are forcing onto us, because that's really what it is. I always found it kind of funny that after, the Wall Street thing, where basically the 1%, after that movement, where it was like, we are the 99%, they really meant the 99.99%, because the only people they were really mad at was the people profiting off those who are already profiting. You know what I mean? It was like this big target to put over the establishment, because it was finally understood. Maybe we had a great awakening. It was finally understood that we don't pull the strings in this system. We don't control this system. And, Bernie had his rise for the left, and Trump had his rise for the right. Trump was a response to the populism of Bernie, right? The only difference is that the Democrats were able to control their dissidents, to control their people, whereas the Republican establishment party was not. That's how we get to where we're at now. Trump instills, for whatever you think of his personality, you're getting the truth. And people want to call that lies, okay? But like real people who can see honesty, who can see principles, who care about that truth, can see that Trump really did. He had ego problems, right? His lies were petty and silly, okay? But his truths were what we really focused on, And when it comes to politicians and all this other stuff, it's like over the course of the last the technological boom, TV, media, it's almost like through the grand design of the free market, they were able to figure out how to market to people and control them with what they see and hear with their ears and their eyes on television and on the radio, in advertisements, etc. And this branding, this marketing, to get more money from people, to siphon people's wealth, that's what the whole idea with capitalism is, right? If you sell widgets, you want to target the people who want to buy widgets, right? So somehow our political system has been undermined by these new ideas. And it could, I think, have a lot to do with foreign trade and foreign markets, and their interests. Basically, all they have to do to undermine us is spend enough money on advertising to have better advertising than the next guy. And if their advertisement is continually hate America, hate the founding fathers, hate these ideals, hate each other, etc., they don't have to fire a shot. You know what I mean? So somehow through our grand free market that we brought and put on the rest of the world, other countries like China, perhaps, Russia, I'm not trying to point any fingers here, but I'm trying to give you the groundwork, the tools to figure this out on your own. All they had to do is spend money in our market. And, they figured out through the genius and perhaps the disillusion of these marketing and advertising companies how to do it. So anyways, with Bernie is like a break from that, People can see when there's honesty coming out of someone's mouth. They can see someone's principles through that. And, I could sit here and lie about petty things, but the truth of the matter is we need to focus on the foundation of what's being said, right? So it's like if I swear or if I say the F word or something like that, we need to get past those things, and we need people who vote beyond those ideals and see the greater message here, past all that stuff. But for some reason, the left and their dissidents, the people who were starting to wake up, were easier to control with this whole established media system, whatever. And they got them under control. I think they called it the Bernie Bros, like the next school shooter. And, you saw the reaction that they had to basically people stepping out of line and saying, no, we're not going to vote for your choice or your choice. It's the same thing. It's just rigged. It's all a game, right? And they got them back in line with division, right? Oh, no, we're not the problem. It's white versus black. It's not us, the wealthy establishment. No. It's the people that we get our money from. It's the lower class. It's the next system down. It's the millionaires, the billionaires. It's the target. They're able to control the target for those people, which is whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people woke up from that happening too. I think I was one of them, because I skipped from being a Democrat to considering Bernie to finally realizing that it's all the same thing. They keep doing the same thing to us. And, we got to break that cycle. I have these people that I think are very intelligent, and they have a lot of, they make a lot of sense on a lot of stuff. But the problem is that they get wrapped up in the system. And they don't even understand it or see it, and it's that comfort. That's why a lot of it's based around guilt. The more comfortable the person, the more guilty they feel, and the more easy it is to control them with guilt or fear or whatever. I mean, we've seen that with the pandemic. So anyways, what I want to touch on is the economy. We're at this dire junction. And, even though I am running a campaign for 2022, it's like, is that important? Will that come to fruition? Is that really the focus? And, I struggle with that myself because I have a lot to lose here because I worked my butt off to get from, pure poverty here in Maine to a place where I own my own property and, look to pass it on to my child, So all these childless people on the left are trying to change all of that. And it's like this emotional control that the establishment has over people. It's like, when will the media stop? Maybe they'll fall by their own design before the country can fall. We see it with CNN's ratings collapse, NBC, that people are going back to sleep, but they still get this indoctrination through media, YouTube, other sources. So we got to come to a point where we are honest with ourselves about what's really happening here. I don't want to lose this. This is a problem that's been created by weak people, weak leadership in the state, weak leadership, even down at the community level, letting the people with self-interests who are brainwashed by this crazy marketing, ad campaigns, these people who are brainwashed by this, basically taking the reins and saying, oh, no, we're going to teach your kids. Oh, no, we know what's best for you. We're going to ban this. We're going to push this. We're going to do that. And you need to conform. And if you don't, you're a problem. How do we let these people run the show? How do we let them become in control of us? Perhaps they just outnumber us. Perhaps there's more people willing to conform than those willing to face the music and wake up. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but to me, it seems like we're set to crash. Not crash. We're set to find out where these rails, this derailment, is going to take us, right? And then it's on us, you and me, the person watching this video that's woken up. You got to share it. You got to talk, because we got to prepare these people. I see all the time, make America kind again, generosity and decency, that we have a decent president, and, there's no more mean tweets and all this other crap. The thing is, like I said before, we can tell, because kindness, decency, generosity, all these things that the left likes to talk about getting back to and, experiencing once again, they don't understand. These are actions, not feelings. Kindness isn't a feeling. I can feel kind all day. Oh, I feel so kind right now. What does that even mean? No. Kindness is going out and actually doing something. But to do that, you have to have something to offer people, right? And we're seeing it. We're seeing those promises not being able to be upheld by the federal government, by the state government. So when the economy crashes, when the dollar, the bubble that they've built for themselves, when they sell it out from under themselves, and the vast majority of people here on the bottom can't keep up anymore. You can't feed your families. You don't know where the next meal is coming from. You don't know how you're going to keep your power on. You don't even know how you're going to fill up your tank to get to work at the end of the week. Right? So when we all wake up and we're all seeing this, okay, and the bubble collapses, where are we going to land? That's what we need to focus on now. So it's like, to me, this 2022, that's a long ways off with the stuff that we've got in front of us right now. That's a goal. I'm heading in that direction, but I see big hurdles ahead that I'm not sure we can clear. I've done a decent job of setting myself up, but guess what? There's millions and millions of people who live in places where you can't farm, places where you can't hunt. You can't even plant a flower because it's concrete everywhere. Where are these millions of people going to go if we get to a point where the farmer can't feed the cows anymore? They can't keep the water on. They can't do it anymore, right? What are these communities going to do? They're going to come back, right? The federal government can keep writing checks and keep writing checks and keep writing checks, and boy, they will. Boy, they will, because the last thing they want to be seen as is the enemies, the people who brought this onto us. So they're going to make promises, and they're going to make every excuse in the book. It's the pandemic. It's tourism. It's a boom. It's actually an economic boom. That's what it is. They're going to make every excuse in the book for their bad decisions, for their bad, weak choices. So it's on strong people like you and me to come together and be leaders. Just like kindness isn't a feeling, it's an action, so is forgiveness. That's what those of us on the center right and right need to really realize here, is that we need to learn how to forgive each other. Because those people that I look at right now and I see as the arbiters, the ones who brought this upon us with their emotional voting, and their crazy disdain for us and the crazy things they do to us, and how they're empowered by this authority of the state, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. So if you don't want war like me, I don't want war. Our founding fathers didn't want war. That's why they sent the damn Declaration of Independence over, because they didn't want war. They wanted to declare their independence and have a peaceful, division. Obviously that didn't happen, and thank goodness for the people willing to fight, but we need to think in a different mindset. I don't want to bring war here because everything I've built already will be gone. So what are we going to war with the people who have nothing to lose? That's not a great battle to be in. Trust me. Okay. I spent 8 years active duty. I've seen places torn apart in very little time because people get desperate. People need help. So that brings me to my final point here. The government is going to try and offer and subsidize every single person out there hurting. They're going to say, oh, just buy into our new crypto. We're going to abandon cash. We're going to go into this new universal. That goes right along with the linearization that they want. If they line us up like ducks, okay, it's easier to put a leash on us. It's easier to control us. It's easier for them to steer us. And that's exactly what the founding fathers talked about not wanting this country to devolve into, you know? They talked about diversity of thought, diversity of leadership that was strong, that really did something, you know? Not proper men who spoke proper and did the right things and looked the right way. We need to get out of that mindset because that elects weak people, okay? You know who looks the same? Conformists, sheep. Sheep look the same. We need to stop electing politicians that look the same, that talk the same. It's like they read from a teleprompter because they don't have anything in here that's their own or genuine. Stop electing weak people. Start electing leaders. And it all starts with waking up and realizing and taking responsibility for the poor decisions that maybe you made as a voter. Okay, moving to our state and changing it and voting like the way you used to because of your virtue, your feelings or whatever, that doesn't work anymore, okay? I built this. I built this with my labor, with my hard work, okay? It's not your right to come and destroy that just because you built something that is worthless. Just because what you built doesn't count for anything in the grand scheme of things, okay? That's traditionalism. That's culture slapping you in the face. And you need to take that lesson and move forward. But we also have to forgive you, okay? That's the thing. Forgiveness and action. I forgive you for making poor life choices, okay? Please try not to be much of a burden on mine. I forgive you for ushering in this shit. Sorry, excuse my language. Focus on my message, not my words. But I forgive you. And we need forgiveness all around. And if we can find that, if we can offer that, you know, maybe that's a path forward that saves us, that takes us out of this possible civil war or whatever the hell we're heading towards. You know, love thy neighbor. There's a lot of lessons here. So anyways, my name is Shane Drake. Thank you so much for, you know, if you watched the video all the way to the end, thank you. And yeah, stay safe. And I don't know. Share this message, spread this message and try to wake people up to what's going on both sides. We need strong leadership. Stop electing weak people, sheep. Weak men usher in poor times, hard times. And that's where we're heading.